hardest game to play, to be toying with your opponent and not put them away. As you see on your graphic, this is Sunday night NBL from the Gold Coast, where the weather, once again, is beautiful. And we are on our way to New Zealand with the hops of Thomas Abercrombie. Get the first crack in the first possession. Wilkinson to Kirk Penny. Abercrombie for three. Bang! Wow, what a good start.
And he got fouled. And this is a guy that's the best athlete in the entire competition, and probably over the last 5 years is the best athlete.
Man, that's a big rap. I know you don't say that lightly. Here's a pretty good athlete in his own right. Ira Clark didn't travel, got a shot away, but he misses. Kirk Penny, the floater. And 4 Gold Coast Blaze on the boards, able to pick up that defensive rebound. Looking for their first score here in their second possession. Harvey. Garlick. Dribble lead to the wing, kicks it to Adam Gibson for three. That's short. Stephen Hoare keeps it alive, but Wilkinson pulls it in. Hanari to Vacona, medium range jump shot. That's good. When he's knocking down jump shots, watch out.
And they don't always get a lot of ball movement. They don't second guess themselves, the New Zealand breakers. They get it down and they want to get it up in the first 10 seconds of their shot clock, as you've seen in the first few possessions.
And that's one of the points that you made. They want that tempo. They want to up tempo, get a lot of shots up, and use their depth. Harvey, sweet reverse layup, had some hang time and spun it off the backboard.
And I love it when James Harvey mixes up his game and doesn't just settle for the perimeter stuff, but can get to the basket because he's good at it.
Yeah, exactly. Why not finish when you finish like that? Wilkinson gets the roll. Just a little miscommunication. And it didn't take Gary Wilkinson long to put it on the floor and make him pay. 7-2 to the Breakers in the early stages of the first.
And he's been fantastic this year, Steve. 15 points, as you see Harvey do what he does best. 15 points, 6 rebounds at 54%. He has been instrumental in New Zealand being on top of the ladder.
And Wilkinson, a good free throw shooter, takes care of business. 77% on the year. Gibson to Harvey. Garlick looking for the roll man, can't find him. Adam Gibson steps out of bounds on the hop.
And this is unnatural for the Gold Coast to have to play with so many passes because they've been taking the ball out of the net. New Zealand keeps scoring, so they come down 5 against 5. It's not a normal thing for them. They want to get out and run as well.
Yeah, it's really difficult to run against a team that's shooting 75%.
Good luck with that.
Paul Hanari gets the starting nod at the point guard for New Zealand. Great career representing his country. Gary Wilkinson shows you he can step out there. Attempts a three. Abercrombie gets the rebound. Vacona to Wilkinson. Great ball movement.
That's a terrific pass from Mika Vacona. Great basketball.
Vacona shows hard against Gibson. James Harvey can't create any space. Ball's out of bounds, or the foot was out of bounds of Kirk Penny.
And the Blaze have really tried to go inside against Ira Clark, but New Zealand's done a good job of making it difficult to get that entry pass.
Pressure on the passer, how key is that? Stephen Hoare gets it after about 3.5 clicks on the inbound. Stephen Hoare with a quick trigger and drills it.
That was flat. It still went down.
Hanari throws it into Vacona. Good hands by Vacona to save that one. Wilkinson shoots a tough one off the glass. Wow, that was impressive.
He's just been good at so many aspects of the game that has really helped New Zealand get to this level. I like what Andre Lamanis has done. two of his best players come off the bench with C.J. Bruton and Kevin Braswell. As you see Wilkinson there, using the mobility at his size to be able to use that little runner off the board. Just great touch for a man of about 6'8", 6'9".
Harvey, tough shot outside the three-point line. Another rebound by Thomas Abercrombie. Penny yet to take a shot for New Zealand. Nick Apona for three. He's not hesitating, just as you said before. None of them are. New Zealand still up 12-4. Stephen Hoare on the mismatch with Kirk Penny. Ira Clark just sets it in for him.
Great follow by Clark, but a good post entry to Stephen Hoare, who had Kirk Penny on him. They want to keep going at Penny and make him play some D.
Penny.
It's a good solid bump from Stephen Hoare, and that's what you have to do against someone like Kirk Penny, because he's world class, as we see a good pass here and the follow-up by Ira Clark. But for young kids watching at home, if you want to work out how to get open off screens and move without the ball, Kirk Penny is one of the best we've seen since Andrew Gaze about being able to do that and get yourself in position to be able to score.
He never stops moving, just like Andrew. CJ takes a bit of a bump.
Look at this, bring CJ and Braswell straight off the bench now. And the other guys have played a good role to be able to get them the 12-6 lead, but now you bring this scoring punch off the bench. And that's what makes it so tough for teams to be able to mess with, because when other teams bring players off the bench, they're just not of that same quality.
CJ. And he has Chris Golding on him. Blaze trying to play some physical basketball, take the breakers out of their rhythm.
And as a player, you've got to make adjustments. That's 3 fouls within about 20 seconds, and now they're in the bonus. And now that is going to put the breakers to the line. They've got 5 team fouls up. If that's the case, they should have been shooting free throws already.
Wilkerson, turnaround, jump shot. Ooh, my goodness, he has showed about 4 different ways to score. And we've got 5.5 minutes to go here in the first.
And he's got 9 points, 4 from 5 from the field.
Well, the referees tonight have been busy. Timeout on the floor as the Breakers have jumped out to a 14-6 lead, shooting the basketball at 66%. This timeout's brought to you by iiNet, the official sponsor of the NBL. As Joey Wright and his plays try and come up with some answers against the best team in the competition.
All right, we're go fast, go fast. All right, so one of you 3 are taking the ball out. Got it? One of you 3, you're on the run. Katir, you're on the run, okay? Ira, you go ahead and look, be this guy, okay? Or whoever the 4-man is, whoever the 4-man's guard. So if they're up here shading this, you come to right here, okay? And we'll look over the top, you on the push. Katir, it might be you if the 4-man's got you as well, okay? Hey, same action as the first play, all right? Katir, you here on the screen down, coming off, same action, fake it, come here and screen, look to get the ball to the block. The big fella Wilkinson's got 9 of their 14 points, all right? We got to slow him up. Know where he's at. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, Shane, one of the things that you said in Keys to Victory was you got to slow down Kirk Penny, but I guess at what expense? If you're really trying to show hard and do those type of things, maybe that's why Wilkinson's been able to pop open.
I'm not sure about that, Steve. I think that they've done a pretty good job, Gold Coast, of defending Wilkinson. He's made tough shots in the block. He's made runners outside the key. And they're the things that you want to make the opposition do, but you certainly don't want to let Kirk Penny get hot because he can go off for 40.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of, yeah, that's true on this team.
Well, you've got to stop so many different people, and that's what makes a championship team, doesn't it?
Atir Majuk catches the basketball, fires one up just before the shot clock expires. No good. Braswell.
Did he think about that?
He thought about it. Kirk Penny showing you why he is impossible to stop with one man. Just so active without the ball, gets a layup.
Great touch, too. He had no time once he got in there. Oh, oh, oh.
Unsportsmanlike. That's
good,
a mental error.
That's a mental area, and that's frustration from Hudson. You can tell his minutes have been reduced over the last probably month. And that's a good call. Joey Wright's going to argue it, but you have a look here. Dylan Boucher, they both had the ball, and Hudson then, whack. Can't do that. It's just frustration. And if anyone is going to frustrate you into doing that, it's Dylan Boucher. He's the king of it.
Dylan Boucher hasn't been in the game for a New York minute, and he's already forced the opponent to give up 2 in possession.
And that's his role. So you can't get sucked into that.
He looked surprised because he looked like he's saying, I didn't even really try for that one.
No, he didn't either. That's playing against a frustrated bloke in Daryl Hudson, who you can tell is just unsure of his role. I mean, the Blaze have brought in Luke Kendall now. He'd be sitting back, Jason Kadee, and Hudson as an import saying, well, you know, where do I fit into the scheme of things here? I reckon that's what he would be thinking anyway.
We'll see if he's able to put those thoughts aside and knock down the free throws. There's your answer. And this is the first one.
One hit.
Hudson, a good free throw shooter, 71%. Not great, not bad.
And he's a good all-round solid player. And you know, he's had a solid season without dominating, and tried to fit in, but with the injury woes that the Blaze have had, probably hasn't been able to step up to the level of being able to say, well, these are my minutes, this is my team, and I'm going to sit beside Adam Gibson and be able to complement this team to be able to get wins.
Dylan Boucher hits a free throw. Did I sound surprised?
You should. That is how not to follow through. Kids watching at home, do not follow through with your hand pointing at the sky.
And that's amazing when you can just make the first one and then the second one doesn't even get close.
Technique.
Technique has let him down on that second free throw. Still a 10-point lead for New Zealand. Boucher into Penny. Shoots over the top of Jason Kadee. That's a tough cover for him. Oh, that's a tough cover for anyone.
And that's recognition. I mean, Kirk Penny's eyes lit up when he felt Jason Kadee on him. Went straight to the post. He was supposed to come off a down pick, but he said, I'm going to post up here against a guy that looks like he's 14 years of age.
After 2 passes, that was a good option. Kadee to Clark. Dylan Boucher up and in quick. Atier steps to the left hand. Ooh, he's long.
And that's what Atier needs to do. Don't worry about stepping off the block, big fella. Get inside, use your length and your athleticism, and do that time and time again. And that is a bad call. That looked like a screen to me.
Was he moving?
Well, I look forward to seeing that again as Dylan Boucher asks the question. This is what he's good at. He's not moving enough to call it.
No.
No, not for my liking. One of the all-time great role players in Dylan Boucher of making teams better and playing, you know, 100% of the hustle and rebounding and not taking away from his teammates, just complimenting them.
And it's always his teammates, his ex-teammates who used to play. As Ira Clark comes up short, he'll go to the foul line. But that's how you can tell a guy's a great teammate. You know, guys will say, oh, you know, he does the little things, and, you know, sometimes that's like a password for he doesn't have many skills. But Dylan Boucher, everybody he's played for have said that he's either the best teammate they've ever had or close.
It's true. He's, you know, teammates appreciate the little things that are done. And when you give 100% and you're prepared to play a role, it doesn't matter how many times he shoots the ball. He's a winner, and, you know, he's been able to do that at a number of clubs.
As well as for his country. Could never underestimate that. Representing New Zealand, the Tall Blacks, numerous occasions.
an assistant coach now too, I think, for New Zealand, and they certainly rate his brains trust behind the scenes.
Kevin Broswell, just a mental error. It looked like he traveled twice.
It did. It looked like he was going to put it behind his back, as we saw him do earlier in the game, and that option was taken away, so he just took an extra step.
It looked like he was going to take it under his arm and walk out with the ball. He took that many steps.
Oh. The Blaze just haven't been able to get anything going offensively, Steve. It looks like they've been pushed out of their offenses and pushed into that corner that time, but just no one's hot, no one's really going, and they need to be able to get some stops to really translate that from the defensive end to get some easy baskets.
Hudson. He's going against CJ Bruton. Abercrombie switches on him. Kadee. Ira Clark, shot clock down to 4 and drills a big bucket for the Blaze.
And that's one of the things that Clark brings to the table. He can go inside, he can go outside, he's got the mobility to pull through. And that's great defense from James Harvey to be able to take that charge.
That was excellent, D. We'll get a good look at it from a good angle. Boom, he's there.
He read that hesitation, just got there and had the momentum to take the flop.
That is one of the best feelings in basketball.
It certainly is, and one of the worst on the flip side when you're the one who commits the charge.
Hudson. Off the ball screen.
This certainly hasn't been the free-flowing game that we anticipated from two teams that like to get out and run.
Pledger charged with that foul, and Stephen Hoare, the man who set the screen, will go to the foul line for a deuce.
And how tall is that man? How tall is Pledger? He's got to be 7.
He's 7 foot.
And he has got great skills for a 7-footer. Terrific touch around the basket, but also being able to step outside the key as well. And he's been able to force Andre Lamanis to be able to give him some minutes just because he's played so well.
Stephen Hoare shooting the basketball well from the foul line this year at 75%, 68 career. Braswell looking for Anthony.
He has not looked comfortable, Braswell, since he's come to the game. In fact, the scoring's really dried up since he came to the point.
Pledger on an excellent dish from Kevin Braswell on the baseline out of bounds.
Great mobility for the big fella to be able to get the catch and still keep his steps and score.
Good defense by Thomas Abercrombie. Didn't matter. The perseverance by Hudson pays off. Pledger throws it. It gets it to Clark with a 360 pass to Hudson. I'll give him that one.
Great anticipation from Clark, reading the second line of the defense. The terrible pass from Braswell went up in the air and Clark came through. I don't know what he was thinking on the helicopter.
Maybe you just might want to pass it.
Yep.
It's a 2-on-1 fast break. A little showtime here. I'm not quite sure if they pulled it off, but the Blaze get themselves back into the ball game. It's a 2-point game. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first. We'll be back to the Gold Coast right after this.
Jordan takes off.
Rondo might not like that.
Hey, Rondo. What? MJ's dropping 63 on the 86 Celtics.
Again.
Not what you playing. Thank you, Jordan.
NBA 2K11, out now.
WWE Elimination Chamber. Who will sacrifice the most to headline WrestleMania? WWE Elimination Chamber.
Monday on Sky Box Office. Book now.
Welcome back to the Gold Coast, and the Blaze have turned things around, got the momentum swing in their favor as they've come up with a couple of big plays on both ends of the floor, making it a 2-point game against the best team in the land, the New Zealand Breakers. And Andre Lamanis calls the timeout to make some adjustments.
I'm surprised one of those adjustments wasn't getting Kevin Braswell out of the game, because he got 3 turnovers in 4 or 5 minutes, and they have lost momentum.
Good no call. Anthony's got to have a place to land. Excellent finish.
And you're right, Steve, that was a good no call. But again, Braswell threw that ball up when he didn't have a place to be able to land. And the big fella did well to be able to contain himself, find the pass, and then go down the middle to be able to finish.
Well, Anthony steps in with the injury to Corey Webster. 117 kilos.
That's some beef.
That's a big, big man, B.J. Anthony. He put a bit too much muscle on that free throw. Nice finish, though. Harvey finds Clark. He's got Anthony all over him. Runs into the big beef. Hudson with his jump shot, that's good.
He's been aggressive tonight, Steve. He's trying to score, make a statement to Joey Wright and say, I need some minutes, pal.
And he has played like it too. Makes it a 2-point game. Daryl Hudson, C.J. Bruton silences the crowd with a three.
Oh my. How many years has he been doing that for? And it's effortless. All of a sudden he hasn't taken any shots. Whack. There's three.
Those guys are so hard to guard, the ones that just never seem in a hurry. Clark. And Ira Clark was asking for that one.
The thing about C.J. Bruton too, I mean, he was an unbelievable scorer in his day. Now he's a lot older, he's got a few injuries, and all of a sudden, look at this, he just puts Jason Kadee to sleep, whack, and now he's not in a hurry to score. But when the defense allows him to get in positions, and he's been shooting the ball extremely well over the last couple of games, and that's why New Zealand are going to be tough to beat, because they've just got so many weapons that can score at any particular time.
And how many times have you seen this season, you know, often New Zealand Breakers, like you said, have let teams, toyed with teams. And in the fourth quarter, how many times do you read C.J. Bruton comes alive?
Yeah, it's all the time. And you've got to have your money men, and C.J. Bruton and Kirk Penny are two of the best in the competition. I think C.J. Bruton was sorely missed at the World Championships with the Australian team. Pulled out, body wasn't feeling as well as what he would have liked, and really hurt the team from having a veteran at the pointer stages to be able to complement the younger Paddy Mills and some of the other young guys on the team.
He really, and maybe at the international game he'd be able to do that, pick his spots, but he just really seems to, as he has gotten older, not nearly as quick and explosive, but he just seems to pick his spots.
And I think he acknowledged that he probably lost a step, his body wasn't in the condition and didn't feel like he could really contribute at that level anymore. And it's good recognition, and it's a sign of a veteran and somebody that cares for the team as well. And you know, it hurt the team, but he was out of there.
Mika Vukona showing you his intensity, one of the best rebounders this game's seen in Australia. And Tom Garlick gets fouled as the Blaze break the full court pressure of the Breakers.
Steve, if the Gold Coast are going to win games to make the playoffs, you cannot allow the opposition to shoot 80% in a quarter. 80%.
I knew it was a big number. I didn't know it was 80.
That's incredible. And to put 22 points on the board themselves, I mean, they've been competitive without being pretty, but they've shot 57% themselves, as we see here. You give yourself a chance, but if you can't play D and you can't get the stops, because then that translates down the other end when you get a chance to run as well.
Roswell kicks it to a wide open CJ.
Uh-oh. That is never going to miss. From the time it left their hands before CJ even caught the ball, that was going to be net.
CJ continues to blaze away from the perimeter. It's a 10-point game to New Zealand. Harvey going left, his favorite way. Whack! Gets the answer in three to C.J. Bruton on the other end.
It's a score fest.
I like it. C.J. again for three. That's long. Broswell to Wilkinson. Good hustle from Broswell. Harvey Harvey will slow it down, doesn't like what he sees. Getting the last shot for the Blaze. Had Luke Kendall open in the corner. Bacona has time, it's long. It'll go off the backboard after 1/4 of the play. It's the top of the ladder. New Zealand Breakers 34 over the Blaze 35. The Breakers are shooting the eyes out of it from the field at 73%. Come back for the second quarter to see if they can continue shooting the eyes out of it. We'll be back.
Your teammates can push you. Your coach can drive you. But when you're at home, your fans will lift you to another level. Watch the Breakers home games on Sky Sport. Check guides for times.
It's like a blast of hydration to your face. New Chic Hydro, water-activated gel that hydrates your skin as you shave and lasts up to twice as long as ordinary strips, while 5 blades with skin guards smooth the skin to reduce irritation. It's the best shave for your skin. The New Chic Hydro. Free your skin.
From executive producer James Cameron, creator of Titanic.
What the hell was that?
And Avatar, comes a 3D adventure that will take your breath away. Sanctum 3D.
Jordan takes off.
Rondo might not like that.
Hey, Rondo. What? MJ's dropping 63 on the 86 Celtics.
Again.
Not what you playing.
You think he's Jordan?
NBA 2K11, out now.
If you have a credit or store card from another bank or finance company, simply transfer the balance to a BNZ credit card and shrink it with a tiny 4.99% interest on the balance transferred until it's paid off. Visit honeyishrunk.co.nz to see how much you could save.
It's Batmania!
What are you? I'm Batman.
Holy heck, it's competition time! Sky, Gotham Comics, and Warner Brothers are opening up the Batcave for you to take a chance and win! Win something batty!
You don't really think you'll win, do you?
Yes, Penguin, anybody can win!
Riddle me this.
Simply visit Sky's competition webpage, answer the weekly prize questions, and go the draw to win the big Batmania prize!
Now that's impressive!
Batmania!
Welcome back to the Gold Coast. Well, Shane, we wanted to see New Zealand because we thought they could put some points on the board, and they have.
They have. It's the highest quarter-time score by New Zealand this year. It's the biggest quarter-time lead they've had for the season as Ira Clark puts 2 in. That's a good sign for the Blaze, and that's the most points the Blaze have given up in the first quarter.
It's probably a good thing that we stayed out of the huddle of Joey Wright after his team gave up 34 points. And this is exactly what they needed on their first possession. A nice low seal and a strong move by their man that's been red hot, Ira Clark.
And what it does too is it puts pressure on Wilkinson now in the block to defend somebody like Ira Clark. He's got another foul.
And Wilkinson, who is red hot to start the game, already has 11, but he had 9. And they've been able to slow him down. Adam Gibson had the ball thrown right to him by his old teammate Mika Bacona. Kurt Penny with a pull-through, just pull-through pull-up.
You cannot play better defense than what James Harvey did right there. And at stages, when you're playing against guys like that, you make them take tough shots. Say good on you. We'll keep going and we'll try it next time.
Clark mishandles it, recovers it, puts it over the top of Wilkinson on the other side. Clark starting to rack up some numbers as well. He's got 12. Wilkinson creates a little space for himself. He gets pushed by Ira Clark.
That's a great little one-on-one battle those two have got going. 12 points to Ira Clark, as you said, and Gary Wilkinson with 11. 9 of those came in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Wilkinson trying to return the favor on the other end of the floor, make Clark play some defense, and he's got 2.
77% free throw shooter. That's got some nice form. Nice little backspin on that ball.
Played at Utah State University. The cross-state rivals of Andrew Bogut's Utah Utes.
Was with Andre Lamanis with the Australian team when he was trying to recruit this player that he knew had to be a go-to player and someone important to complement all the other strengths that they had. Gee whiz, there's no way he could have thought that he was going to get somebody that has fit in more perfectly than what Gary Wilkinson has.
And he's picked up his 3rd foul. That's huge. Stephen Hoare got around him. Wilkinson wanted the hook. And that's one way to slow down a score. Get him in foul trouble, sit him down. But with the depth of the breakers, they bring in a 7-footer in Pledger.
Yeah, they've certainly got the depth to be able to cover him for the time being.
Harvey has the ball knocked away from him by Abercrombie. Travel.
Oh, looked like there was a little bit of contact there from by New Zealand for Ira Clark before he traveled.
Definitely some contact. Deemed to be incidental. 9-point lead for the Breakers. Kirk Penny. Oh my goodness. Wow, he got that off quick.
His shot is just pure. Doesn't matter left or right, he's equally as good. And over the years, he's done a good job of being able to keep adding a lot of strings to his bow and being able to get to the basket as well as James Harvey. Second time he's gone to the basket and finished with a little spin with his right hand.
And that will create a little bit more space for his jump shot, but who cares when he's getting to the basket like that? He was knocked off balance and still got that thing up nice and soft off the backboard. Check it out. He made that look easy.
He did, and back to Penny. He's just been so patient too. It hasn't been like he's come out spraying to be able to get his points. He's got 10 points, 4 from 5 from the field, and 2 out of 2 from the 3-point line, and he just keeps accumulating.
And the shots, with the exception of he had one good look, those are tough shots to hit if you're trying to defend him well.
And particularly when you have a look at him move without the ball like we spoke about, they are switching. Every time he comes off a pick, there is somebody there, and he's done a great job of drawing another foul by building the momentum of getting that contact into Golding. And Golding's got his hands up, but he did a good job of fouling. He's not the first player to be frustrated this year, and he won't be the last.
Hanari. He wants Kirk Penny to go to the other side. He launches up a 3.
And that is the extreme of watching Kirk Penny shoot when you see Paul Hanare let a 3-pointer rip. That's not pretty.
I like how he waved him off and then launched that.
Oh. And normally, you don't see that too much from Nare because he knows his role and he does it perfectly, and normally doesn't go outside of his ability.
Harvey on a curl cut. Looks for a teammate, finds Gibson. Gibson turns the corner. He's got a good look just inside the 3-point line. Hanari keeps it alive to a teammate. Penny gets through a small gap, finds Abercrombie, somehow keeps it in bounds. Adam Gibson sees that Abercrombie looks very uncomfortable dribbling the basketball, but Pledger gets fouled, goes to the foul line.
I've been so impressed from this big fella just to be able to keep his feet and good hands, and that was a difficult ball for him to be able to get and regain and then still be able to find a way to the basket.
Well, I didn't know much about him, and I was chatting to Cal Bruton. He was saying, look, keep your eye on this guy. Because CJ was saying how much he was improving and training every day.
We saw it with the Australian team when we played against New Zealand last year. I mean, he really tore the Australian team apart, and certainly the best players for Australia weren't there, but we didn't know a whole lot about this guy. We scouted him and watched videotape, but he was exceptional.
James Harvey, who's looked super aggressive tonight. We check out the guys in foul trouble, and the big one for New Zealand is Gary Wilkinson, who picked up his 3rd when he fouled Stephen Hoare when he was driving to the basket from the high post.
So the other thing there for the Blaze, if they can really start going at Kirk Penny, who's got 2 fouls, if he picked up his 3rd, he would really have to sit for the 2nd quarter as well and just slow up their momentum on the scoring end.
How much do you go at him and maybe get out of the rhythm of your offense? But obviously very important for him to pick up his 3rd and sit him down.
I think it depends on who he's defending. If he's defending James Harvey or even Hudson now, there's opportunities for those guys, maybe not to settle for the jump shot, but try and get to the basket and draw that extra foul.
James Harvey makes no mistake from the foul line. Very good foul shooter. Jay Harv. And the Blaze just creeping back into this one, down 8. Mika Vacona looks to turn the corner, goes hard against Ira Clark. Tough shot by Mika.
Looks like he got fouled on that one too, and just great to be able to take that contact, still play through it, and to go for the 3-point play. Talk about role players. I mean, he's one of the best as far as getting the offensive boards and playing D, and he's really helped this team as well. Mika Vacona.
Well, he'll be matching the strength of Ira Clark in rhythm outside the 3-point line. Pledger pulls down the rebound, but he's fouled by Atir Majuk.
Both teams in the bonus now. Any more fouls, he's going to send the opposition to the free throw line.
You got it.
Not that that's much of a worry tonight, Steve, because both teams shooting 50%. Are they 50%? No, 60%. Both teams shooting 50 from the 3-point line.
Nari. Here comes Kirk Penny. Another tough 3. Oh my goodness. Woo! He checked. He is hot.
He needs no space to be able to get that shot off. I mean, we talk players up, but it's nice when you talk up the best and they come and give you a display like this. 3 from 3, all tough shots from Kirk Penny from the trifecta.
He is putting on a shooting clinic. James Harvey is feeling the same hotness. Is that a word? But he's hot on the other end of the floor. He is matching him for 3s. Hanari gets it to Pledger. He's fouled on the delivery of that pass. Hanari playing his role well.
Well, we said this was going to be a high-scoring game, but, I mean, what's that, 86 points already as he hit that 3. I mean, you just can't defend that, Steve. But 86 points already in the first half with 5:29 to go. And I'm sure Statman will be able to give us the highest total points in a half, but we're going to be heading for that.
Hanari will get a chance to check out that technique. Gets them both to go. Trying to get this thing back into single figures again. Hudson against C.J. Bruton. Tries to cross over C.J. He gets hands in. Gets the ball back. Finds Clark. He's long. Pledger has the ball bounce off the rim and goes to Atir Majuk. One of those rebounds where it came down, grazes the rim.
In the right place at the right time. Clark was surprised. He just got an open look from the free throw line, and lucky for Majuk, you see he doesn't have a whole lot of strength or balance at the moment. The big fella, but he's got a whole lot of length and athletic ability.
He is so long. Well, when he swooped across the lane for that left hand, it looked like a jump hook at first, and then he just laid it in. As many times as he can do that,
he can make
that's a bonus.
He can make a very good living from doing that and blocking shots alone.
There's nothing wrong with making a good living from what you enjoy doing.
From doing something you love.
Broswell, who struggled here early, he finds Kirk Penny, and Kirk Penny finally gets a cheap one.
And that was a good pass from Broswell, but you got to say Kirk Penny again cuts at the right time, puts himself in a position to be able to bail out his point guard and get a little cheapy.
Gibson turns the corner. And his floater's good.
I love it when Adam Gibson comes off dribble handoffs or picks with the mentality to get into the paint and score or create for other people.
CJ has Adam Gibson. That's Adam Gibson's third.
And see, not only is that his third, now he has to go to the bench, but he's putting one of the best all-time free throw shooters to the line at a time that they're 10 down.
Well, plenty of highlights here in this high-scoring game between the New Zealand Breakers. 52 points already with 4.5 minutes to go until halftime. This timeout's brought to you by Hungry Jacks. It's the Flames that make the difference. And Kirk Penny has put on a show for us. That's his first score. Now watch the different ways he gets them. Shane, that's the one you're talking about. His eyes lit up when he had the smaller Jason Kadee on his back. You can't play any better D than that. You don't want to foul a three-point shooter or rip through. That's a catch and shoot when he realized how hot he was. And that one's just ridiculous. You can't guard that.
No. And then you just have a look at him getting himself in the right position, cutting to the right spot at the right time. And as you say, that's just a plethora of variety to be able to score in so many different ways when really it doesn't look like there's been that many plays run for him. And he's got 15 points, shooting at 6 from 7 from the line at 85.7%.
I was talking with one of my friends who likes to have a crack at who's going to be the top scorer, and he believed that Kirk Penny was going to get a quiet 30 tonight.
Well, it's pretty hard to bet against Kirk Penny because he's just so consistent in what he does. I guess the thing is that he is also patient. They've got a lot of talent on that team, and when you look at guys like Wilkinson that can step up now, and that's what I think has made them a good team and actually has made Kirk Penny flourish a little bit more because there are so many other options and you can't double team him at all costs because other people can punish you.
CJ Bruton quietly going about his business as well. He's got 8, so just off the double figures for him. James Harvey, ooh, strong finish for Harv. He's gone to the hole a number of times tonight in impressive fashion. Has finished like he could do it all night.
He's got 15 points now. This is only his 3rd game back from 10 games off with a calf injury. He's looking very good and very confident.
CJ lines up a 3-ball, and that's good. CJ in double figures. Got quite a few guys in double figures already.
Cannot go underneath an on-ball screen on CJ Bruton. That's just an explosion on the mental side to allow that to happen.
Luke Kendall gets it to Majuk, tries to get through a gap.
And that's Kirk's 3rd. Oh no, they've called it on 11.
That might be one of the bigger breaks of halftime as CJ Bruton lines up his 3-ball to give him 11 points. Penny with 15, CJ Bruton with 11, and Gary Wilkinson with 13. We're in the first half.
57-44. That is a lot of points. Well, we've played 16 and a half minutes. Is that right? 57 points in 16 and a half minutes. That is amazing.
For New Zealand, you know when the team shoots 76% from the field, you think, oh, they'll go down. As Kirk Penny misses a layup.
Oh my. What a pass too, with his non-favoured right hand from Braswell. I think that's amazing he even tried to throw that after 3 turnovers.
Well, you have that confidence when your team's playing so well. And New Zealand haven't, like you say, they've been toying with their opponents and they have not put teams away. But when you're winning, you just play with a certain arrogance. Like it's only a matter of time before we reel you in and pass you up.
It's true. And you have a look, James Harvey there has just given CJ Bruton a little bit of his own. He's felt a little bit of contact, drew the foul, now he's going to shoot 2. CJ's been making a living out of that for a long time.
CJ's reaction like, good one, you got me.
Yeah, he had his head down now. It was like, oh no. And Harvey is an exceptional free throw shooter.
He almost put it on him. That thing just crept over the front of the rim. Soft touch, though.
He won't miss this one. That was his miss.
That was his miss for the game.
That was his miss. It's nice when you actually get a roll on one and you think, oh, that wasn't pretty. You know the next one's down.
And James Harvey scores point number 17, which makes him the leading scorer in the half for both of these teams, and that's saying something because they got some guys that are putting up some numbers. We're going to take a short break right now, but I tell you what, come back if you like to watch scoring. We got plenty of it.
Jordan takes off.
Rondo might not like that.
Hey, Rondo. What? MJ's dropping 63 on the 86 Celtics.
Again.
Not what you playing. You think he's Jordan.
NBA 2K11, out now.
Rugby analysis.
I love the way he hits rucks, the way he hits players in the tackle.
Rugby news.
Yeah, he has turned his back on the All Black jersey.
Rugby expertise.
They're not invincible, are they?
Plus all the weekly rugby action from around the globe. Reunion live, Sky Sport 1 and the Rugby Channel.
You're watching the INET NBL Championship season. You're also watching a shootout of some very good players playing a very good half of basketball so far. You've seen Ira Clark with 12. James Harvey has just been sensational with 17. And on the other side of the floor, got C.J. Bruton with a, believe it or not, very quiet 11. Kirk Penny has been, well, Kirk Penny with 15. And also Gary Wilkinson. So whoever needs to score at their certain area of the game has done it.
Well, let me tell you, Steve, the highest first half performance was 63 points by Perth against the Blaze. Great play from James Harvey, sucking in that three-pointer. And 63 points they gave up, the Blaze. And they have made a habit of not having great first halves. And coming back in the second half, as you see, James Harvey, he will go to the line for 3 free throws.
James Harvey's one of his favorite players is Reggie Miller, and that looked very Reggie Miller-esque.
Yeah, I played a season with halves, and he has a knack of being able to do that, to fake the opposition, because he's such a good shooter. You have to jump at his shot and carry a hand, and then he hesitates and lets him land on him. All of a sudden, he's got 3. 18 points.
There's that one miss.
Just stepping away from his shot there. Each time he takes it, he really needs to hold his ground and shoot it with confidence. So.
Makes the adjustment on that one, 2 of 3. Takes his tally to 19 on 6 shot attempts. Abercrombie's foul. This one looks like it's on Ira Clark.
He didn't look like he got a lot of contact there. Abercrombie looked like he fumbled the ball a little bit, but that's a big call on Ira Clark. We'll get a better look here.
I think it's on James Harvey. No?
Ira Clark. And that is a big foul for the big fella, now out of the game for the last 2:53 of the half. His second personal foul, is that right?
It must have been on James Harvey. It was hard to tell.
And that's the thing about the Gold Coast, Steve, is we've seen it time and time again, is that they will dig themselves a hole in the first half, but they come out in the second half like a completely different team, and they've come back from 20 points down before to give themselves a chance to win, and have done it at stages.
Well, like you said earlier, you know, with Wilkinson hitting some tough shots, Kirk Penny's hit some tough shots. You can weather that storm and stick to your game plan. Nice dish to Mika Vacona from Anthony.
And that's the thing about New Zealand. They will always give you a chance because they're playing that up-tempo style, and they'll shoot it quickly. You'll always get plenty of attempts if you can make them.
Kind of like the old Melbourne Tigers.
Tough to stop when they're hot.
Hudson.
Oh.
Just over the front of the rim. Hudson's been very aggressive in this ball game off the bench.
9 points for Hudson now off the bench, as you say, Steve. Golding, he hasn't found a way to get into the game, hasn't taken a shot. His 3rd foul now, and putting the opposition to the line. See a great pass from Stephen Hoare.
Hudson with a tough finish. A lot of fouls in the game. 18 for New Zealand and 15 for the Blaze.
And 23 free throw attempts for the Gold Coast, and 17, about to turn 18 for New Zealand.
Bruton with that very sweet stroke. Great rotation on the basketball.
And the Gold Coast need to keep going at James Harvey. He's the hot man. They need to get him off some down picks. Try and get him to get to the line or shoot his three.
Luke Kendall wedges one against the rim in the backboard. James Harvey's man stayed home.
And you know, that's exactly what they don't need, is Luke Kendall after one pass with his head down shooting a running jump shot from outside the key, when you've got someone like Harvey that shot the ball extremely well at 5 from 6 from the field. He needs more touches.
Broswell with a nice pass into Anthony.
That's how you execute it. On ball, pick and roll. This is Stockton and Malone.
BJ Anthony goes to the line once again. We've seen him have a very nice finish. Took a kind of subpar free throw on the attempt at a three-point play. But a player who's activated because of Corey Webster's injury with a back strain. You talk about depth. This is a guy that they brought in to be their 10th man, and he's had an impact on the game.
Not only is he playing, he's playing well.
Exactly.
Big sub from Joey Wright, bringing Ira Clark back into the game with 2 fouls. If he happened to get his 3rd foul in this last 2 minutes, he would have to make him a little bit more, I don't know, he can't play with the same sort of intensity in the 3rd, can he?
You wouldn't think so. Joey must feel that this is a very important part of the game. James Harvey's been the hot man for the Blaze. Stephen Hoare throws it to Ira Clark. Should have hit the ball. The ball hit the baseline on the bounce.
Well, it's All-Star weekend in the NBA, and looked like that was in a dunk contest. He just threw it on the ground, and up comes Ira Clark.
Getting inventive in training, that's what it looked like. Just about pulled it off. Broswell launches a 3. Broswell still struggling. Kadee to Clark. Creates some space for himself and gets the finish.
Great pass ahead from Jason Kadee too. Ira Clark, as the big fella went down, it was almost like he had nowhere to land. He really traveled when he got it, but did a good job of composing himself and finishing strong.
It was an awkward play with BJ Anthony hitting the floor.
Yeah.
And I guess when you can jump that high, you always got to be concerned with where you're going to land.
I'd love to know what that felt like. Paul, where can I land and have the time to think about it?
Oh, Ira Clark, his numbers just flashed up on the screen. 5 of 9 from the field. His free throw rattles out. Bounced a bit before it went to BJ Anthony.
It'll be a good result for the Gold Coast Blaze if they can have it in single digits by the half.
Abercrombie with the jam from the alley-oop pass from Broswell. Woo!
And that was a set play and well executed.
Stephen Hoare has the ball knocked out of bounds. Let's have another look, Shane. Set up beautifully.
Oh my, it's a good lordy. He has hops.
You know when guys jump that high, it looks like it's not real. It looked like he jumped off a trampoline. He looked like one of those mascots.
And it's nice as a point guard having the opportunity to be able to throw it anywhere up near the hoop and to have that happen. Woo! That is the highest scoring first half in the entire season. 64 points.
And the Blaze putting up some numbers as Braswell must have felt something on that last miss, because he drilled that one and it never looked like missing. Khadid in the open court finds Harvey. Charge. C.J. Bruton just outside the circle.
Was he?
I'm just assuming that Scott Butler got the call right. I thought it was a good move by Harvey.
Ooh, right on it. Good play from C.J. Bruton. You called it right, Steve, and that is a great play from a veteran.
I don't know how the referees can get that call right, because they've got to be watching the toughest call in basketball to make, the charge block, and have some idea of where the guy's feet are, whether he's in, well, he has his foot on the line or outside.
Well, take your hat off to them on that occasion, because they got it 100% right.
Yeah. Last shot of the first half, and New Zealand, as well as the Blaze, have put on a scoring clinic. Boucher gets it to CJ. He launches the three. That's short. Blaze come up with it. It's got to go long, just off the mark as Brendan teased, but you have witnessed an extremely entertaining first half of basketball from the Gold Coast Convention and Entertainment Center, as the top of the table Breakers have been trying to put it on the Blaze, who won't go away. Rob Hazel has C.J. Bruton.
So the half, are you expecting those sort of numbers when you came here tonight?
Not really, but it's one of those games where both teams are fighting. It's going to be a a tough game, but the referees have dictated how they call the game and they've set their tone. It's up to the teams to adjust to how they're calling the game.
How good is Kirk Penny at the moment?
He's pretty good. You see that. Obviously, we're happy to have him back from not making the NBA, but hey, we still got some work to do.
Well, the Blazers have got a habit of making a comeback in the second half. Best of luck, CJ.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Stick around. We'll have all the second half action from the Gold Coast Convention Centre after the break.
No script.
One goal in it. This is desperate stuff.
No makeup.
They've come out to play.
No stunt doubles.
Man, she'll just give it everything.
Just call action.
It's a cliffhanger. Oh, look at the argy-bargy. Brilliant. Terrific pass. Dramatic stuff. Wow.
The summer blockbuster that's sure to sizzle. The ANZ Championship Tactics FIFA Firebird Swift. Tomorrow, Sky Sport 1.
That is one of the most extraordinary chandeliers I've ever seen.
At first when I saw it, I just fell in love with it.
The specs they gave us for the building, from the concrete to the framing to the roofing, the specs were number one compared to other builders.
I still can't believe you've got 2 kitchens.
Yes, in this kitchen we cook meat dishes, and this is where I cook my vegetarian dishes.
You got everything on your wish list?
Yes, I have, more than that.
So what was it like when they handed the key over to you?
So
biggest day of our life,
It was biggest day of our life.
Yes.
So we had tears in our eyes and everything.
It's not just how a home looks.
It's what goes into it that counts.
See why more New Zealanders trust GJ Gardner to build their homes.
How many other places get to have a backyard like ours? No, not that one, this one. Back here's great for all sorts. Returning to our hunter-gatherer roots. Building a panic room for Dad. Or maybe just being yourself.
Morning!
Plus, it's somewhere to put the infinity pool, floodlit tennis court, water feature, state-of-the-art gym, and guest house. There's plenty to smile about around here, and we're making it our job to make sure you keep on smiling. We're AMI, and we ensure New Zealandness.
Jordan takes off.
Rondo might not like that.
Hey, Rondo,
What? MJ's dropping 63 on the 86 Celtics. Again. Not what you playing. You think he's Jordan.
NBA 2K11, out now.
Wait! Who says maths is boring?
I have to recalculate.
I didn't want a hostage situation here.
Emotions aren't rational.
We're gonna get ourselves some real casualties.
Numbers, 8:30 Monday on the box.
I've got you working with our top operative, Charlie Watt.
I think we should just get the hell out of here. Oh, man.
Cool with the Asian dudes. Am I right, brother?
Wrong, brother.
From the director of Taken and the producer of The Transporter.
Sir, you do realize that I'm non-special ops certified.
Stay on this job and consider yourself a member of the club.
More than you are. Last census, about $1 billion.
John Travolta, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. The blockbuster premiere From Paris with Love. Next Sunday, Sky Movies.
This half-time is brought to you by iiNet, the new #2 provider of DSL broadband in Australia.
Welcome back to the Gold Coast. I hope you're enjoying the game as much as these people are, because we sure are. 67-52, high-scoring game. Who would think that the Gold Coast Blaze would be shooting 61% from the field and losing?
By 15. Unbelievable stuff. But New Zealand, as you can see, 23 out of 31 and 8 from 14 from the three-point line. And the Gold Coast aren't playing that bad offensively, but unless they get stopped, they can't win this game.
All right, well, let's check out the highlights from this game, and there have been plenty. Let's go over a couple of points that you felt like these teams had to do if they were going to win. And let's start with the Gold Coast Blaze, as they have been not able to stop New Zealand, but boy, shooting it at 61%, they've sure taken care of their end of the floor on the offensive end.
Yeah, well, the two areas that Gold Coast had to achieve was contain Kirk Penny. They haven't been able to do that, and they had to be better in defensive transition. And whilst they haven't been disgraceful in transition, they haven't been great either. And there's been too many layups and too many open shots when the ball comes out of the backcourt.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, we look at some of the areas where New Zealand might struggle a little bit, and that's why the Blaze have been able to stay in the game. As you see, Kevin Broswell just struggling to get the ball over, get a shot for New Zealand. But it's the scoring of New Zealand. They've got C.J. Bruton, Kirk Penny, and Gary Wilkinson have just been, especially that guy, hasn't he been a pleasure to watch tonight, Kirk Penny?
He's just an amazing basketball player and an even better scorer. And, you know, at the start of the game, we said New Zealand, they want to play an up-tempo style of game. And the tempo is completely down the track of the way New Zealand have ended up 5 games clear on top of the NBL ladder. And there is no way that the Blaze have the talent to be able to run and gun with a team this deep.
Well, you said that the tempo of the game was really going to suit the New Zealand Breakers if they were able to get it up tempo, and I think we've seen why it was just dangerous for the Blaze to get in that type of style of play. I mean, they've scored 52 points, and they're not even close.
But the problem is when they play up tempo, if you allow New Zealand to come down and get easy shots and you're taking out of the net, you can't run yourself. They have to get stops, the Gold Coast, and if they can do that, they'll start to get some easy baskets, because New Zealand aren't great in defensive transition themselves. It starts at the defensive end.
All right, checking out your notes before the game, you talk about key areas for New Zealand to play well, or for the Blaze to try and stop New Zealand, and Kirk Penny was #1 on your list, and Kirk Penny has just put on a show for us. And a lot of people say, okay, well, Julian Kazoo might be the MVP, and then you get other people talking about Gary Irvin, MVP. But I tell you what, if you're going to be judging by one performance or one halftime performance, I'd say right now you got to put your money on this man right here, Kirk Penny.
He may not win the MVP this year, Steve, because he's got so many other great contributors on his team. But let's talk about the best player in the competition. And it doesn't matter what the vote is for MVP. This man is the best player in the competition, and probably the best player since Andrew Gaze to be able to play. He's exceptional, so difficult to stop, because the defense on him hasn't been that bad. Some of the shots he's made are incredible.
And what about the second half? I mean, you talked about the key parts where the Blaze have to try and slow down the New Zealand Breakers. But what can we see here in the second half from both of these clubs?
Well, we know the Gold Coast, they play with much more enthusiasm in the second half on the defensive end. They're only 15 points down. They'll believe that they can come back and win. Hopefully we see a different demeanour, more defence and more hunger to be able to get out and get it done. And I think they'll give themselves a chance. I don't think this will be a blowout.
Well, we have seen some teams come out in the first half and play extremely well, and then not play well in the second half. I don't think we're going to see that here tonight. Here in the Gold Coast, it's the Blaze going up against the best team in the competition. It's been hot shooting. It's been entertaining. You don't want to miss the second half. We'll be back after a short break for the third quarter.
To the every whim of the seriously rich.
Stand like a robin, dressed like a penguin.
Hunting Lodge snobs
They cannot afford to mess it up. It's as simple as that.
who pack heat and wear green suede loafers.
Right, here we go.
Jumping out of the fat and into the fire.
Really not acceptable.
Just in shock. God. Not so good. Not so good. We majorly.
All new series Out of the Frying Pan. Monday, Prime.
That is one of the most extraordinary chandeliers I've ever seen.
At first, when I saw it, I just fell in love with it.
The specs they gave us for the building, from the concrete to the framing to the roofing, their specs were #1 compared to other builders.
I still can't believe you've got 2 kitchens.
Yes, in this kitchen we cook meat dishes, and this is where I cook my vegetarian dishes.
You got everything on your wish list?
Yes, I have, more than that.
So what was it like when they handed the key over to you?
So
Biggest day of our life,
it was biggest day of our lives.
Yes.
We had tears in our eyes and everything.
It's not just how a home looks.
It's what goes into it that counts. See why more New Zealanders trust GJ Gardner to build their homes.
I am a lonely and a lonesome traveler. I am a lonely and a lonesome traveler. Well, I am a lonely and a lonesome traveler. I've been a traveling. One of these days I'm gonna stop all my traveling. One of these days I'm gonna stop all my traveling. Well, one of these days I'm gonna stop all my traveling. Stop all this traveling.
Break out some new moves with Les Mills No Joining Fee February. No more same old, unleash the new you. Offer ends February 27th. To pay no joining fee, call 0800 Les Mills now.
Jordan takes off.
Rondo might not like that. Hey, Rondo. What? MJ's dropping 63 on the 86 Celtics. Again. Not what you playing. You think he's Jordan.
NBA 2K11, out now.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm DCI Janine Lewis.
She fought her way to the top. Now the bodies are piling up.
As usual, first 24 hours, crucial.
New to Vibe, 9:30 Monday. Blue Murder on Vibe.
No, I'm probably 6 years too late.
I pray to God you give me one more chance, girl. I'll be there for you.
A Lot Like Love. Monday Romance. This Monday, Sky Movies Greats.
The ICC Cricket World Cup, Sri Lanka, Canada, tonight live, Sky Sport 1.
If you love your NBA and your NBL, you have come to the right place. That's right, overtime. Andrew Gaze, JVG, and myself, we talk about the big issues, the big names, Wednesday night on 1HD. And Shane, I have really enjoyed this basketball game. Often we'll talk about defensive struggles and intensity and all that type of stuff, but come on. I want to see the ball go through the basket. I want to see some alley-oops where Thomas Abercrombie catches it like he just jumped off of a trampoline. That's what I want to see, and we've seen it here in the first half.
Well, if you're a basketball purist, and there will be some people sitting at home and saying, no, I want to see a hard slog. They're not getting that tonight, but they are getting what you want to see, and that's some talent. Some people putting the ball in the hoop, and there's been a lot of games we haven't seen that. This is a high standard game offensively as we see New Zealand open up in a zone to start the second half.
Stephen Hoare with a cut, finds Ira Clark. Abercrombie putting the ball on the floor. Kirk Penny in rhythm. Wow, just picks up where he left off in the first half. Cannot let him get loose in transition.
Anytime somebody as good as Kirk Penny gets an open shot, there's a serious breakdown from somebody.
And you know, if Kurt Penny, as good of a player as he is, you know right now he's feeling extra hot. That is crazy dangerous. Blocking foul by Mika Vukona.
And that call hasn't been called throughout the night. And you can see Adam Gibson that time saying, well, if I'm going to get a bump, I'm going to fall over and force the referee to either call a charge or a blocking foul. And that was the right call.
Gibson forcing the issue. Clark, Gibson might have taken an extra step, and he gets it to Stephen Hoare, and they get the good result.
Great play by Gibson, and they're going to need him if the Blaze can come back in this second half. He needs more output.
Abercrombie with a tough three over the top of James Harvey. Mika Vukona somehow reels in the offensive rebound, chased it down. Wilkerson puts it on the floor. He spins over the top of James Harvey. Mika Vukona over the top of Stephen Hoare did a good job screening him out.
And that was a much better block out from Stephen Hoare, as you called, because if you don't do that against Vukona, he is relentless in being able to get his teams extra possessions.
Get another look. Mika Vukona picks up number 4. That's huge. Because as much as you want to keep a scorer off the bench, off of the floor, you want to keep Mika Vukona off with his rebounding, his defense, and his physical presence.
And the Blaze need to keep going at Wilkinson like they are right now. He's on 3 fouls as well, and he doesn't want to foul, so Ira Clark will be able to score a lot easier.
And Ira Clark looked extremely confident, like he was listening to your commentary. Hanari, Boucher has a big cushion. Oh my goodness, Adam Gibson left Kirk Penny, dodged a bullet there. He left Kirk Penny for Dylan Boucher.
He won't want to see that on the tape Monday morning.
Ira Clark pushes off on Dylan Boucher, and he does what he does so well.
And that's Ira Clark's 3rd personal foul too. And as you say, Dylan Boucher is just the best at being able to get underneath you, cause the contact, then flop, as he did there. And really, there was a little bit of contact, but it wasn't like what Dylan Boucher made it out to be.
Not nearly as much as his acting skills paid off. You always ask if he would have gotten the call if he didn't fall away. Penny trying to create some space for himself. Hoare doing a nice job. Well, he's determined to get that one off, and the ball went off his head.
And that's very un-Kirk Penny-like, to be able to do that. Normally he'll move it on and then he'll cut off another pick and won't need to force it like he did on that occasion.
Well, that's about the first mental error he's had the whole game. Wilkinson better watch it. He's going to pick up a big one. Clark goes for the jam. Adjusted with one hand in midair. I tell you what, you can have all the talent, all the hops in the world, but you can't do that one unless you got some big hands. Wilkerson. He plugs up the leaky boat. That stops a run for the Blaze. Harvey steps by, takes the contact, misses a little one that he probably felt like he should make. Hanari, he's got numbers, kicks it to Abercrombie, launches the 3. That's good. Boy, he's improved his outside shooting.
Great penetration from Hanare too, and you know, it's just a backbreaker because you felt the Gold Coast getting a little bit of momentum, getting a bit of confidence up, and then whack, there's a 3.
Gibson's calling the signals. They want James Harvey, but he's not able to get it off of that screen. Tom Garlick on a strong cut gets the layup. Lead is 14. Hanari, nice pass to Boucher. Abercrombie gets it to Wilkinson. Nice seal. He gets it up. He's fouled by Clark, and that's his.
This is 4th. Why is Ira Clark in the game? 3 fouls and 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. That is a big. Is that his 4th? Can that be his 4th?
That is his 4th personal
foul. Oh my
foul.
goodness.
Rob Hazel has Mark Worthington on the Gold Coast Blaze bench.
Thanks, Steve. It was 15 points at half-time. What did Joey have to say to the boys?
It was pretty composed. I think a lot of it came from Ira Clark, who basically said the boys need to step up. This is our playoff life or career right now, and we really need to step up in the second half and make a change.
Is that the feeling in the team? This is a must-win tonight?
Oh, it's definitely going to help. One of the next 2 games, we feel this is the best opportunity to win, and you know, the boys just need to fire up a little bit more and probably play the defense that the fans have come to expect over the last month instead of the defense that we've been showing in the first half.
Still would have been some self-belief there at half-time too. You guys have made a habit of coming back from big margins at half-time.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think a lot of the guys know that, probably except for Lukey and Atia, but you know, the guys that have been around all season, they fully understand what we have done all year and what we are capable of doing, and hopefully we can bring it back.
And for you personally, mate, how's the wrist going? How's the rehab?
Yeah, well, I haven't done any rehab yet because I can't do anything, but I'll go see the surgeon this week, and hopefully I get the all clear, get the cast off, and get a fiberglass cast put on instead so I can start running around.
It's been tough sitting back here and watching the boys do their thing.
Very frustrating, but at the same time, you know, they did a great job last week against Adelaide, and hopefully they can come back tonight.
Good luck with the recovery, Mark. Back to you, Steve.
Plenty going on here as the Blaze were able to force a turnover on some excellent defense. Abercrombie, even if he didn't travel, only had 4 seconds left on the shot clock.
And that's the intensity we're talking about with the Gold Coast Blaze, because they're certainly capable. Good call, great defense from Adam Gibson getting up and having the pressure.
I just can't believe he was arguing that call. He took 3 steps before he even thought about putting the ball down on the floor.
I thought you were going to say it wasn't a travel. I thought it was going to be on. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, you kind of got that crazy look in your eye that you get as James Harvey gets the baseline layup, and Harv continues to put pressure on the scoreboard.
Good finish by Harvey, but again, it was Gibson. He made a big 3. He's made a good defensive play, and another assist there.
21 for James Harvey. Boucher nowhere to go on the short corner. He finds Braswell. Shot clock down at 3. He had a look at the shot clock on the other end. Gibson to Harvey. His layup is good. James Harvey with Michael Jordan's number, 23 points.
And this is when the Gold Coast look good, when they get stops and they get out and run and get some easy buckets.
James Harvey with a season high as the Blaze had scored 7 in a row before that Thomas Abercrombie medium range jump shot.
He's done it twice now, hasn't he? Just stop the momentum, Abercrombie, from the perimeter.
Gibson, that's straight, that's good. Adam Gibson has hit a couple of bombs for the Blaze. 8-point ball game. And the Blaze continue not just stay in the game, but to answer every challenge the New Zealand throw at him. Hands by Golding. Blaze with numbers. Ball goes off of C.J. Bruton. Might have caught a break because that had gone off Chris Golding. Timeout on the floor. Charge to the New Zealand Breakers, who try and come up with some answers as the Gold Coast Blaze have turned this game around with a little over 3.5 to go here in the third.
Hey! At the defensive end, like they're in zone, like it's a switch and matchup sort of zone thing, like, but we're all standing on the perimeter, okay? And so it's working for them. So come down, keep running man stuff, but like set a screen, get it on, hard cut, dribble handoff out of the corner, be aggressive, get some cutters on the rim. Afterwards, keep being aggressive in it. If you want it one time, get it on and set this screen like a zone trans, and then go on and get that. But we've got 5 guys on the perimeter, okay? They've made a couple of shots. Got to make sure Gibbo bounces it now, okay? And settle down.
We talked about when they shake it here, let's go carry base, guard, be aware, he's going behind you.
Yeah, exactly. Be away from that.
The timeout was brought to you by Cinebet.com. Don't just watch it.
2 great points from Andre Lamanis in that timeout. One against the zone, they need movement. Sometimes you become a little stagnant and stand outside the 3-point line. You forget to cut, you don't get that movement. Good point. The other one is Adam Gibson. He's made 2 threes. He's got 6 of his 8 points in this quarter. He's been instrumental in this comeback. He said he must put it to the ground now, meaning he can't get an open shot.
Let's see how they execute it, because the Blaze have done a great job of getting themselves back in. James Harvey with his patented float to the left. That'll be on Atir Majuk, who's trying to clear some space on the offensive rebound. And although you may think this is a poor percentage shot, James Harvey can make that a lot.
I thought it was in. He loves going left, and some players that love going left can use that fading to be able to make it to their advantage.
And as hot as he is, I'm sure he felt like he could make it. Abercrombie goes baseline. May have stepped out about Dylan Boucher in the right place at the right time, and that is no coincidence. And it takes the lead back up to 10.
Good timeout from Andre Lamanis just to stop the rock.
Gibson puts it on the floor this time. Tough shot. Adam Gibson keeps it alive on the glass at Atir Majuk. He travels.
Oh, which time? He took like 4 steps, and he's saying, what?
I don't think he traveled as much as Thomas Abercrombie did. It'd be close, though.
Gee whiz, we can put it to the fans to vote on that one.
Both guys complained about the call, too. That was a funny thing. Penny. He gets himself to the rim. Good, strong finish, mixing it up as he did in the first half.
And that's the advantage when you can shoot the ball so well. You have to be closed out so much harder that you can get to the basket.
James Harvey, little step back going to the baseline. James Harvey continues to be hot. Turnover. Here come the Blaze. Adam Gibson in rhythm. Offensive rebound, put back is good. Adam Gibson starting to accumulate some numbers here in the second half.
They look like a different team when Gibbo gets involved. From the defensive end, have a look at the intensity that he's providing in this zone.
Atir Majuk just not anywhere close on the ball screen. Nowhere to be found.
Did you see James Harvey saying, mate, you're in the middle. You've got to intimidate these guys. You've got to be able to go up and put them off. Even if you don't get the block, you've got to be able to change shots.
Goulding going to turn the corner. Gets it to the hot man, Adam Gibson. Back to Goulding. Tough shot outside the 3. No good. Penny with the board.
And that's not the shot they need from Goulding, who hasn't been able to get himself into the game.
Kevin Broswell, maybe not the shot that they need on the other end of the floor. Hasn't been his night. He's only connected on one of those. No passes. And one-on-one and a long pressure 3.
Minute 37 to go in the third. This is an important stage of the game for the Blaze to be able to get into the single digits.
Timeout on the floor, as we have seen some hot shooting from a number of players tonight. James Harvey has been one of them. 25 points for a season high already. We've got plenty of basketball left. And those numbers, 8 for 11. And on the defensive end of the floor as well, he has been switched on the entire night. Jay Harv has been due for one of these bust-out games. He's been playing some good ball, but you know he's capable of erupting for 30 when he's feeling this hot.
And I think it's been good for him. If you're going to take advantage of an injury, you've got to be able to do the rehab like a pro. And it's something you learn from a young age, to be able to go away. And when you come back, you've got to have done the work. You've got to be fit, have the cardio, and come back confident. And his legs look like he's great. His mindset's good. He's going to finish the season on a high.
Well, what about when people say, okay, there's no fitness like game fitness, but he just seemed to, James Harvey seemed to come back from his injury and hit the ground running.
Well, there's not too many players that I've played with over a long period of time that train harder than James Harvey, and he's one of those guys that he will push himself into the gym to extremes. And, you know, in the weight room, but cardio, the whole lot. He's a pro.
Well, he's playing like one tonight. You have really had a treat in watching him go about his business tonight. Also, Kurt Penny for New Zealand has been special to watch, and those two are matched up on one another. Golding runs into C.J. Bruton.
That's a good take from Golding. Again, he hasn't scored tonight, but he had the isolation on C.J. Bruton, caused the foul, and found a way to be able to get to the line. Dylan Boucher saying it was still on the ground, and probably fair grounds for an argument.
Yeah, you know, and Dylan Boucher, he really picks his battles. He doesn't say a whole lot. You know, those are the guys that I look for when they're complaining about something. Usually they mean it. As you check out the foul trouble, Ira Clark with that 4th personal foul. That was huge. And Nico Bacona with 4. So those guys cooling their heels on the bench until the 4th.
You wouldn't think Ira Clark can come in now as we see Kurt Penny doing what he does. Just a simple step away screen for the best shooter in the competition to come up and go swat ass.
Well, if you can hear the excitement in our voice, nothing like a guard putting on a shoot show. James Harvey has a block by Pledger.
He was going for the 3rd time he's made that same move. And Pledger says, not on my watch.
Boy, he didn't lunge at that one at all. As Kirkman, boy, that's just no time or space.
And that's great D by Hudson. He had a hand right on the shot without fouling him.
Stephen Hoare on an excellent pass from Adam Gibson. It's very close to that bounce pass hitting the inline, which has been a violation. Penny throws it right to Golding. Nice fake and the layup. That's good. Dylan Boucher illegally blocked the shot after it hit the glass.
Great play by Golding, but I'm surprised that Boucher, being the veteran, didn't foul him in the backcourt going for the ball, considering that they've only got 3 team fouls.
Mental error by Dylan Boucher. You don't hear that much. Penny got a good defender and Adam Gibson on him. Step back. Pledger. Medium range jump shot rims out. And Dylan Boucher once again positions himself for an offensive rebound, and he's pushed in the back. He goes to the foul line.
And he just gives himself an opportunity to succeed, Dylan Boucher, just by being in the right spot through effort. But this is a ball game. Back to 8 points, Steve. You always knew that the Gold Coast were coming. And is that the 4th foul for Adam Gibson? That is not good.
So Adam Gibson sits down with Ira Clark as we are about to see the last possession here of the 3rd. Broswell and C.J. Bruton in the backcourt for New Zealand. Broswell gets a screen, loses the handle. Broswell, Wilkinson gets time, bang! Oh, what a huge turn of events. Excellent hustle from both teams. Wow, Gary Wilkinson with a 3 at the end of the 3rd.
What a play by Braswell, being able to get a hand on that pass while he was on the ground. He stole the ball, got it back to the big fella. And I think we're going to the TV screen. Scott Butler down there, as you see that hand, the left hand go up from Braswell, and to be able to get the ball away for a 3. But I think Scotty Butler is looking at it right now to see whether that basket counts.
All right, we're going to get a result on whether that counts.
This is a big decision in the context of the game, either 8 or 11 at 3/4 time.
Don't you just love a player that's calm under that situation, and then just look if it gets out of his hands.
Oh, it's got 0. Have a look at the top right-hand side of your screen and have a look at that shot clock expire right there. Is that it?
That's it. It should not count,
no
and it
way.
doesn't. Scott Butler, he rules it no basket, so no celebration will be for the New Zealand Breakers. Not just yet. We got another quarter to play. Nothing but excitement here from the Gold Coast. We'll be back.
If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out in the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can.
Greatest victory of the season! Break out some new moves with Les Mills No Joining Fee February. No more same old, unleash the new you. Offer ends February 27th. To pay no joining fee, call 0800 Les Mills now.
Jordan takes off.
Rondo might not like that. Hey, Rondo. What? MJ's dropping 63 on the 86 Celtics. Again. Not what you playing. You think he's Jordan.
NBA 2K11, out now.
If our Filet-O-Fish sets your heart aflutter, if you go into raptures over McDonald's delicious chicken McNuggets, if the sweet chili or tandoori seared chicken wraps put you on cloud nine, then knowing each is part of a Weight Watchers approved meal, you'll love them even more.
As a responsible broadcaster, Sky complies with the Broadcasting Code of Practice. If you feel standards have been breached, you can make a formal complaint either in writing or by going to the complaints page on the Sky website. You will need to state the name of the program, the date and time it aired, and the standard that you believe has been breached. Send complaints to this address or online. Our website address is sky.co.nz. Complaints must be made within 20 days of the program's transmission.
Don't miss your first point of contact for all things netball.
What's that?
Catch the weekly special guest, analysis, player profiles, expert opinion, and much more.
Believe it or not.
On Court, new episode every Wednesday, Sky Sport.
Welcome back. It was the Breakers with a 15-point lead at halftime, and it's been trimmed down to 8. So a successful quarter for the Gold Coast Blaze, who are putting themselves in a position for a second-half comeback as they've done so many times this year. Bacone on a backdoor to Kirk Penny off the backboard. That rims out. He hasn't had that happen much, but Gary Wilkinson, who did not get the three-pointer to count at the end of third quarter, he picks up 2 here on the putback.
And that will break your heart if you're a Blaze fan to see a Kirk Penny layup missed and an offensive rebound happen from Gary Wilkinson.
And James Harvey picks up number 4, and he has to have a seat. And that's another huge blow when it comes to foul trouble. He has been single-handedly keeping the Blaze in the game.
Well, Gibson, Clark, and Harvey now with 4 fouls. They need somebody else to step up or to be able to save time, keep it at this margin until those guys get back into the game.
Kadee on the on-ball gets it to Golden. Clark trying to create some space for himself, finds Stephen Hoare. The up and under, he's fouled. And that's on Gary Wilkinson, and how many is he?
That's his 4th.
Oh my goodness.
That's his 4th. Good play going inside again. Put the pressure on the big fellas. See whether they can defend without fouling.
Just catches the arm of Stephen Hoare. And Wilkinson stays in the game.
Big call. Steve, back to that three-quarter time. Going back using technology with the referees when it's available. I will argue all day that that is a good thing for our sport when you get the correct decision and no one's hardly done by.
And it didn't take him that long to do it. He looked at it, saw what he needed to see, made the call.
A little bit of suspense. It's all good.
CJ somehow got it to Kirk Penny and stayed in bounds. Another turnover by New Zealand. Turnover number 11 for the Breakers. Clark with Wilkinson on his back, who's got 4 fouls, has to be careful. Kendall's off the mark. Broswell does a great job of kicking it to Penny. Penny. Good ball fake. Misses a shot. He's got all the tricks, doesn't he?
He does. He's a veteran. He's played all around the world in Europe, had stints in the NBA. And you know, he's got a lot of strings to his bow. I'd like to see Jason Kadee use an on-ball and try and put Gary Wilkinson in that on-ball, because there's opportunities then to be able to drive at the big fella to try and get him out of the game, because whilst they've got plenty of depth, they certainly don't have a Gary Wilkinson waiting to come into the game.
And Mika Bacona fouls out with his 5th foul, of course. Dylan Boucher comes into them. We talk about the depth once again. Mika Bacona out, Dylan Boucher in. Anari on the bench. It was a starting guard.
It'll be interesting to see how long Joey Wright holds off on Adam Gibson and James Harvey, both sitting on the bench with 4.
Hudson. He gets him a bit more time as he gets a good drive in there to make it a 7-point game. Wilkinson puts it on the floor. He travels.
He's played well tonight, Hudson. He's been aggressive off the bench. You can tell he's playing with an attitude. He's got a bee in his bonnet. And he's getting it done. He's been aggressive to the basket.
Timeout on the floor as the Blaze will not go away. Timeout is brought to you by Rebel Sport. Win a VIP weekend for you and a mate at the NBL.
Ira, Corey, Kendall, Daryl. We're in strong pop, all right? Kick in there. You see how that comes, Corey? Kind of look up on this. Bubbles, I want you to come inside this Ira. Take a step there, all right? Bubbles, I want you to come inside this, Corey. You looking for Bubbles on this back door. All right, you want to come this side, flipping everything, all right? Bubbles is going to come in, Horry. Ira, you're stepping straight back, knock this 3 down. All right? Your man's going to help on that. If he don't help, he's going to be open. You got to inch it up, though. Set him up, set him up, set him up. Come on. Step back, knock that down, all right? Let's go, fellas. Stay with strong. Let's keep it simple. Simple pin downs will hurt them. Simple pin downs, feed the block. Simple pin downs, if you don't have it, feed the block. Strong pop. When I'm over here.
High-scoring game here at the Gold Coast Convention and Entertainment Center. Those are some big numbers. James Harvey, season high with 25. Kirk Penny just 3 points off of his season high with 22. And Kirk had 15 at halftime. Wilkinson with 20. Ira Clark with 18.
We couldn't see the board, Steve, but expect Golding to come off Ira Clark, and Ira Clark to step back looking for the 3 here.
There it was, and he steps through, gets it to Golding. He's got a good look outside the 3-point line. He buries it.
Well executed play by the Gold Coast Blaze. Steve Hall was a little bit slow on the pass to Ira Clark, as he probably would have got that away.
CJ misses an opportunity in the 4th quarter. Mr. 4th quarter is CJ Bruton. Clark on the jam. He's fouled by Dylan Boucher. A couple of huge baskets by the Blaze. Golding's 3 and Ira Clark going to the line for the old-fashioned 3-point play.
And that's what we said, Steve, at the half. Do not write off the Blaze. They are a different team come the second half. Have a look at that trifecta from Golding. That's his first score of the game, feeling good about himself there. And Clark, what a finish.
Luke Kendall with the feed. And Ira Clark looking to make this a 1-point ball game. Here we go.
And you got to say, this is the Blazers season right here. New Zealand are 5 games clear. Will it be the fact that it's not as big a deal to them and they play relaxed, or the enthusiasm of the Blaze that'll get them over the line?
Boucher looking for a teammate, finds Wilkinson. Ball's tipped. Good call by Scotty Butler. Everybody on the floor knew it too.
He's a good referee, Scott Butler. And if you're playing in a close game, and particularly if you're playing on the road, as we see that ball clearly come off Chris Golding, you want Scott Butler there because he's composed, he's a good communicator, and better than anything else, he makes the right calls.
Yeah. Kirk Penny gets it into Anthony. His big body is a little long off the backboard. Dylan Boucher hesitated, didn't get it off before the shot clock went. Turnover for the Breakers on that possession.
I've just got to wonder at what stage does CJ Bruton come back into the game to be able to try and regain a little bit of momentum? This is when you need your veterans, and any couple of minutes he'll be back.
Minari with some good help on that curl cut on the weak side. Luke Kendall shoots a terrible three, but Steve Hoare gobbles up the offensive rebound, and the Blaze have the lead. Minari to Anthony. He's off the mark. Anthony has the ball stripped away by Kendall. Who will it go to? It goes to the Blaze. Effort plays are going for the Gold Coast.
They've done a great job defensively, the Gold Coast Blaze, but I think they need Kendall out of the game. He's taken 3 bad shots trying to get himself into it. He's done a decent job being able to hold down the fort, but at some stage, very shortly, you'd want to see Adam Gibson and James Harvey.
Kendall, little under 6.5 to go. They get it into Ira Clark. He spins to the baseline, his reverse layup. He's fouled. Goes to the line for 2. Try and expand on this 1-point lead.
Another great take by Clark, and good offense from the Blaze too, being able to get a ball reversal and go inside of the big fella.
We get another look. He's pushing a big body around.
He is.
DJ Anthony.
But he's a rookie as well, and you know, that's what you want. I mean, Ira Clark, he's a man. He's played all around the world. He's played in Europe for a long time, in some of the better leagues in the European League, and whilst he's at the latter stages of his career, he brings that pedigree to Australia.
He gets them both to go. When teams have the lead at the end of the 3rd quarter, they win 83% of the time. New Zealand, every time they're up at 3/4, they are 100%. Wilkinson off the mark. Broswell in rhythm, shoots an air ball. Wow.
Oh my, close the door. The wind's blowing. It's a 14-point streak. A run to the Gold Coast Blaze.
Oh my. Kendall's still in the ball game. James Harvey and Adam Gibson on the bench. Hudson, he's been solid tonight.
CJ's back.
Clark, single coverage, creates space for himself. That's off the mark. Abercrombie goes upstairs for the big defensive rebound.
See, I don't think Clark needs to settle for that when Wilkinson's on 4 fouls, defending him one-on-one on the wing.
CJ wanted to go to the foul line. We'll get another look. Foul occurs there. And I thought Golding did a good job because they never called 2. Make sure he doesn't hit one and get a 3-point play.
It's an interesting timeout from Joey Wright, considering they're on a 14-point streak.
And he must have felt like he needed to get a point across. Well, we've got plenty of basketball left. 3-point game. 5.5 to go till we have a decider. We'll be back.
Jordan takes off. Rondo might not like that.
Hey, Rondo. What? MJ's dropping 63 on the 86 Celtics. Again. Not what you playing. You think he's Jordan.
NBA 2K11, out now.
WWE Elimination Chamber. Who will sacrifice the most to headline WrestleMania? WWE Elimination Chamber.
Monday on Sky Box Office. Book now.
Welcome back. Joey Wright talking to his troops. Down 15 at halftime when they were shooting 61% from the field. And when you look at games that you've lost over the season, those are the ones that sting when you execute and you get it done at the offensive end, and just giving up big numbers. 67 points in the first half is a very big number.
And New Zealand's still shooting 57% from the field and 50 from the three-point line. Both teams have shot the living bejeebers out of the ball tonight.
I love it.
There's a couple of blokes that like to shoot themselves. It's pretty to watch.
You know, I don't mind the D, but we've seen plenty of those. This has been fun. I hope you're enjoying it as much as Shane and I are, because this thing's going to go down to the wire. New Zealand, 17-3, have been able to come up with the answers all year long, including being down by 20 at halftime against the Cairns Taipans, as Abercrombie can't get one off in time. Not the type of possession you want after a long break.
All good defense from the Gold Coast players, and in particular Stephen Hoare on the wing, who was isolated against the more athletic Abercrombie.
Blaze on a 14-0 run. Have got themselves a 3-point lead. Joey Wright sticking with the guards that have gotten them that lead. Golden with the jump hooks off the mark. New Zealand get the stop. Broswell tries to get to the rim. Tough shot. Golden keeps it alive. To Kendall. Hudson. Does he have the angle? He's fouled heavily by Kirk Penny, and he'll get 2 and possession.
That's a bad call. Kirk Penny's going up to block the shot and got a lot of ball. What's he meant to do? Just let him lay it up?
Don't get me started. I hate that call. Unless somebody lands on their head.
No. I'm not with that call. He got a lot of ball on that.
I don't think you should be real anxious to make that call. It should be clear. He goes for the ball, and he gets a lot of arm. It's a foul. He hasn't knocked him off balance. Don't blow the whistle so fast to where if the guy lands on his feet, and there's really no danger there. And he went for the ball.
Exactly right. If the guy's in the air and you come from behind or the side and clearly don't go for the ball, but Kirk Penny was between Hudson and the basket. He made a play for the ball and clearly fouled him. It's 2 shots and a good professional foul.
He did his job, but unfortunately, the crime does not fit the punishment. 2 in possession, but he only makes 1. Gibson's back into the ball game. Clark, he traveled.
Did he? It's a good strong move from Ira Clark, and that's where the Blaze need to go if they're going to finish this game off, going down to the wire.
Well, the only reason I said travel is because I knew that was the situation. There was no contact to be made, but you be the judge. We got ourselves a 4-point game, just under 4.5 to go here from the Gold Coast. We'll be back.
There's no time to delay.
Oh no, my ex. He'll kill us. We've got to get out of here. Stop the chopper.
And no time for second guessing.
Stop the chopper. No!
All new Rescue Special Operations. Monday. Prime.
Jordan takes off.
Rondo might not like that.
Hey, Rondo. What? MJ's dropping 63 on the 86 Celtics. Again. Not what you playing. You think he's Jordan.
NBA 2K11, out now.
Welcome back. The New Zealand Breakers trying to come up with another miracle. I shouldn't say a miracle, but they've been winning their fair share of close games down the stretch, have been undefeated when they have a 3/4 time lead, and they are being tested tonight against the Gold Coast Blaze. They were down 8 at the end of the 3rd quarter, and they've turned this thing around up by 4. New Zealand have been clearly the best team in the competition with just 3 losses. They're getting challenged. Penny, turn around, pull up, wow.
Oh my.
That's how you create space, and that's how you keep your team in the ball game. On another tough shot from Kirk Penny, it ties his season high of 25.
How do you defend that?
You don't. Well, you do, but you don't get a stop, that's for sure. Hudson puts the ball on the floor. He finds Golden. Shot clock down to 3. Golden goes hard. He's fouled.
That's a good late call because Golden went to the basket hard. Probably had no chance of making it, but there was certainly contact on the follow-through from Abercrombie.
We get another look. Abercrombie goes straight up. There's not a whole lot you can do when a guy goes that hard to the basket. He's tough to defend. And that's why you always want to encourage a guy to go hard to the rim.
Chris Golding just doesn't look like he's playing with his confident self in this game so far. Nothing's dropped for him. They've got James Harvey still sitting on the bench with 3:45 to go. Sure, he's got 4 fouls, but he's also got 25 points at 8 from 12. I feel like he needs to be played, Steve.
Luke Kendall and Daryl Hudson still in the ball game for the Blaze. Pass to Abercrombie. Good feed from Gary Wilkinson. They get a cheap bucket. And now they have the lead. 95-94. 3:20 to go in the fourth.
Here comes Harvey. Let's just hope he's not too cold. It's hard when you lose momentum at stages and you sit there a little bit longer than what you think you should be, and you start to get a little bit wound up saying, come on, mate, when are you going to give me the tap?
No better remedy than for him to knock down a shot when he gets open. Broswell.
That's a bad foul by
Isn't it
Broswell. They're in the bonus, down by a point, 3:19 to go, and they're going to put Golding to the line.
That is a huge mental error as Chris Golding goes to the foul line. Good foul shooter. I had to check the stats. Like, I thought maybe I forgot. I thought, what? I could have swore they were in the bonus when he fouled him like that.
Steve, that's 190 points they have scored between them, and historically for the whole season, these two teams have scored a lot of points. In fact, the most points combined of any other combination in the competition.
Well, they have not disappointed us here tonight. Sunday night NBL has been a scoring fest. Wilkinson gets Clark up in the air.
He's out.
Can't get the roll.
And he's gone. He did a good job of staying that long, Ira Clark, because he was in so many situations where I thought he was going to foul out. Good up fake too from Wilkinson, just being able to get Clark out of his stance and in the air and then being able to go up for the shot.
He's replaced by Stephen Hoare.
Well, there's a veteran that's played in a lot of crunch situations.
Clark fouls out with 23 points. Gary Wilkinson, who's 7 for 7 from the foul line. That's who New Zealand won on the way. Or C.J. Brew. He bricks that one, put the curse on him. He really bricked it too. Just under 3 minutes to go. We've got ourselves a 1-point ball game. Shane Heal's prediction of the Blaze getting the win could be likely. Gibson with the drive. That's why he's back in the ball game here at crunch time. Adam Gibson has delivered here in the second half.
He has had a massive second half, and it won't show up on the stats. He's only got 12 points and 5 assists, but he's been able to draw this 5th foul from Gary Wilkinson as well. And the defensive intensity that he's played with, he's turned this game around.
He sure has. Gary Wilkinson goes out, so key players for both teams have fouled out, pretty much nullifying one another. Wilkinson, the star center for the New Zealand Breakers, and Ira Clark has fouled out for the Blaze.
And Vicona might tip it the Blazers' way with 2 bigs out.
Gibson gets the 3-point play to rattle around and go down. 4-point lead for the Blaze. Doing everything they can to get this win.
Do not write off New Zealand. Look at CJ and Kirk Penny.
Broswell for three. Ball's kept alive by Dylan Boucher. Maybe not the one they want.
Andre Lamanis, he's walked up to the bench, he's called a timeout because that is not the shot that New Zealand want when you've got two superstars standing on the wing on the opposite side of the floor.
Andre Lamanis, furious over there. I'm not sure if he will relay that anger in this timeout. Let's listen in.
I gotcha. Right now, trans quicks. All right, trans quicks. I don't like fucking around with it. Okay, so it's here. Hey.
All right, well, I think we got the answer to that one. New Zealand needs something special, and they need it quick, down by 4. Andre Lamanis just not happy with this decision right here.
Well, and he shouldn't be. And as soon as Lamanis said that in a timeout, Braswell had something to say. He just needs to sit back, take it on the chin, because that was a bad decision at a crunch time in the game.
No doubt. And you know when you take a bad shot. You know it every time.
Especially if he was playing on the Sydney Kings or a team that's lower down the ladder and he's needed to be able to go and make something happen, then you probably accept that shot. But when you've got superstars on the team that are shooting the ball exceptionally well, I mean, Braswell shoots the ball at 34% from the field for the entire year. He doesn't need to take that shot.
Well, he's still in the ball game. And the Blaze have the ball and up by 4. Luke Kendall in the game for the Blaze, bringing it up against C.J. Bruton, his old teammate. Kendall uses the high ball screen, gets it to Golding. Shot clock down to 9. Good pass to Stephen Hall, well executed. Nice dump off by Chris Golding.
Called it right. That was a fantastic pass from Golding after he got into trouble. Good pass to Hall.
Kirk Penny with a 3-point bomb. Keeps the Breakers in the game. He's outstanding tonight.
That's why you go to the weak side, because he is a legitimate superstar.
Cuts the lead in half. Big possession. Gibson works the on ball, tries to turn the corner, pull-up jump shot for Gibson is short. Kirk Penny with the rebound. Bruton. Step back 3, Cal Bruton Jr., bang! Just like that, we're all tied up with a minute and a half to go. Kirk Penny with a 3-point bomb. And C.J. Bruton delivers in the fourth quarter once again.
Two guys that want it when the game is on the line.
Golding, shot clock down to 8. Going left, runs over, and the charging foul. C.J. Bruton comes up with 2 huge plays.
Oh my, Steve, I've got to see that on the replay. Where was C.J. Bruton standing? Have a look at this basket. That's just a step back, SWAT act. But let's look at the next play. We can't quite see where his legs are, his feet are.
I'm thinking he is inside that circle.
He had to be. He had to be. Big play.
Huge. That's where New Zealand want to have it, in that man's hands, or C.J. Bruton. Kirk Penny steps through. Charge the other way. Kirk Penny is down. Let's hope. Good, not for long.
Kirk Penny complaining. You have a look here. This is the one where we'll see where CJ is.
Clearly.
Was he?
Clearly in.
Clearly in. Have a look at that split by Kirk Penny. And that could have been inside as well. But that was a fantastic play by Penny. He had nowhere to go, and he was able to split the gap to be able to go to the rack when they expected him to shoot a 3.
Well, that's why you play through any call, you play through anything, because the game usually evens up. You sure don't want to get a bad one with less than a minute to go.
18 points down the Gold Coast Blaze in the first half. And I'm not sure what it is, but they come out like a different team. And we told you about it at halftime. A lot of you are probably saying, you're just saying that to, to keep us watching. But that's the way they go. That's exactly what the Gold Coast do. And they just they play with different enthusiasm in the second half.
And we've seen him do it time and time again, and you follow him on the internet, NBL.com. They do it even when we're not here. They're doing it through the internet, and their fans witness it time and time again. The Blaze in the second half are world beaters.
Well, the fans have got their money's worth tonight. It was a beautiful day outside. They've sacrificed a little bit of sunshine late in the afternoon, and it was worth every penny, because I would pay money to watch Kirk Penny, CJ Bruton and James Harvey play with the way they've shot the basketball tonight.
They have not let us down. They've hit one clutch basket after another.
And when you talk about people asking where the NBL's at, have a look at that.
Have a look at that. Exactly. Harvey creates some space for himself. Blaze getting it through hands. Gibson, Luke Kendall lines up a three. That is just another poor result by Kendall.